Welcome to Capital City News, your source for staying informed and engaged with Salt Lake City government. I'm your host, Brian Young with Salt Lake City TV. On our episode this week, we spoke with Katie Matheson from the city's Economic Development Department about the importance of shopping local during this holiday season. And our History Minute is about the history of wild horses in the area. But before we get to those, let's take a look at our legislative update and our look-backs.
At its November 10th meeting, the City Council received briefings and voted on RDA Budget Amendment 2 for fiscal year 22-23, which includes a $4 million gap loan to the Spark project at 1500 West North Temple, as well as funding for a contract to create development scenarios for the Station Center area. City Council also heard a briefing on the plan to improve roadway safety, reliability, and mobility in Little Cottonwood Canyon from the Utah Department of Transportation, or UDOT. Separately, there was a midpoint check-in about the draft SLC Transportation Master Plan. And finally, City Council adopted a joint ceremonial resolution with Mayor Mendenhall declaring November 20th as Transgender Day of Remembrance in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City values the lives and contributions to our community by transgender people, and the city has the responsibility to promote equality and prosperity for all members of the transgender community. To learn more about these issues or any others, please visit slc.gov/council. Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall and other creative leaders held a panel discussion to talk about the future of art, technology, and its place in our capital city. Centering values of innovation, creativity, and celebration, the panelists explored current and future shifts impacting the ability of arts industries to thrive in Salt Lake City.
We're trying to use and support and amplify art in a way that brings people together.
To watch the complete discussion, please visit our YouTube page. SLC's Planning Division, with the help of Capital City News, held an AMA or Ask Me Anything recently to discuss the new proposed Homeless Resource Center rezoning amendment to regulate future homeless resource centers and homeless shelters. The overlay would be adopted into the zoning code along with updates to the existing regulations that apply to homeless resource centers and homeless shelters. For more information about this amendment, please visit slc.gov/HRC-amendments. Construction is ramping up on one of the largest infrastructure improvements in Salt Lake City's history. The SLC Water Reclamation Facility is a critical part of the city's wastewater system, treating 35 million gallons of wastewater per day, which eventually funnel into the Great Salt Lake. The new $836 million facility will be highly sustainable, with educational aspects for the public and built to the highest environmental standards. Salt Lake City Mayor Mendenhall and City Council members were joined by representatives from the University of Utah American Indian Resource Center, the Urban Indian Center of Salt Lake, and the Utah Division of Indian Affairs to celebrate the beginning of Native American Heritage Month. The event included the reading of a formal joint resolution from the Mayor and City Council and a performance by Voice of Honey. I'm praying for you.
For our interview this week, we spoke with Katie Matheson from Salt Lake City's Economic Development Department, and she gave us a look at why it's so important to shop local this holiday season.
So there were a number of businesses when COVID hit that we knew dollars were coming, federal dollars were coming to assist small businesses during COVID, and we also knew we kind of needed a sort of bridge to help businesses stay open immediately. And so the emergency loan program was established to help businesses kind of carry through while we were hoping that future federal dollars were going to come to Salt Lake. We are at Pierpont Avenue outside of Atelier, which is a local shop that received an emergency loan from our department. When we spend our dollars locally, what that does is it helps us keep our dollars local longer, and it gives us unique gifts for the holiday season, but it also allows us to keep Salt Lake neighborhoods vibrant and thriving. So Salt Lake City is working with the Downtown Alliance and other community partners to encourage local Salt Lakers to shop SLC. It's the name of the campaign, #ShopSLC, and it's important, the purpose of the campaign is to encourage Salt Lakers to do just what the name says, which is shop locally this holiday season. So there are three ways to think about shopping local. So the first one is to shop SLC, but also think SLC. So what I mean by that is make an experience of it. A great example that I like to give is You know, the whale, this public art in the 9th and 9th neighborhood is infamous now. And, you know, you can make an event of it by going to see the whale and then going to grab some dinner in the 9th and 9th neighborhood, and then go and shop and buy some gifts with your friends and family in that neighborhood. So that's the first way that you can think about it. The second way to think about it is in terms of unique gifts. So of course we can go visit retail, which is great, and we love to do that, but also think about, you know, outside the box. So think about art as a gift for the holiday season. Support a local artist. Think about an experience. A gift certificate to a local restaurant, or tickets to a local performance or cultural activity. And then the last one is think about it in terms of geographic reach. So we have lots of different shopping hubs within Salt Lake City. So of course in the downtown area we have a lot of restaurants, some retail, lots of performance opportunities to buy as gifts for people this holiday season. But you also have some great restaurants up in the North Temple area. You've got some great retail over in the 9th and 9th district. And at the Gateway we have the winter market, where we have over 60 vendors with gifts and other things for the holiday season. So think about it in a broad way and really support SLC. So for more information about Shop SLC, you can of course visit the Downtown Alliance's website or any of their social accounts. You can visit the Department of Economic Development's website and any of our social accounts. And you can find all this information about supporting local establishments, just like Atelier here in Salt Lake City, for your unique finds for your gifts this year.
It's time for my favorite part of the show, the History Minute. Horses first came to Utah with the Spanish expeditions in the 17th century. When horses escaped from the Spaniards, they became wild and were captured by the local indigenous tribes, who were some of the first in North America to acquire horses for purposes of transportation, hunting, and even food. Historians believe this might have happened as early as the 1650s. Since many of the tribes in Utah depended on a nomadic lifestyle, the incorporation of the horse into their daily lives transformed their standard of living and enabled them to carry much more with them as they traveled with the buffalo across their migratory paths. Today, Utah is home to as many as 22 herds of wild horses across the state, though many of these were started in the 19th century when domestic horses escaped and took on the life of wild horses on their own. In 1971, Congress passed the Wild Free-Roaming Horses and Burros Act to protect these horses as, quote, living symbols of the historic and pioneer spirit of the West. That's it for this installment of Capital City News. Remember, the best way to stay engaged is to stay informed. You can do that by following us on social media at SLC.gov, subscribing to us on YouTube, or watching us on Channel 17. So, reporting in from our studio downtown, I'm Brian Young.